Chapter 7. Heroic Donation Displays in Primal Fundraising. I can be your hero, baby. Something's missing. You might have noticed. The last few chapters played the primal giving game, but they didn't focus on heroes. Now, it's time to get back to the one big thing in fundraising. Advance the donor's hero story. The heroic donation is an ideal. It's an extreme form of philanthropy. The principles from the primal giving game can still apply, but the game must change. It must become more extreme. Extreme outcomes. Suppose I am player 1 with these payoffs. Player 1 gives and player 2 doesn't give. Player 1 gets minus 100 points. Player 2 gets 25 points. Player 1 gives and player 2 gives for the rest of his life. Player 1 gets minus 50 points. Player 2 gets 0 points. Or player 1 doesn't give and player 2 doesn't give. Player 1 gets 0 points. Player 2 gets negative infinity points. Player 1 doesn't give and player 2 gives for the rest of his life. Player 1 still gets 0 points and player 2 still gets negative infinity points. My gift has a high impact. If I don't give, the other player gets negative infinity points. He dies. But my gift is costly. Reciprocity is possible, but it can't justify the gift. Even with the other player's lifetime of return giving, my result is still negative. Here, the gift costs 100 points. We might interact 25 more times. Each time, he might benefit me 2 points, but 25 times 2 is only 50. 50 points is still less than the 100-point cost of the gift. In this game, there is only one rational move for me. Don't give. A new problem. Now suppose we each face 50-50 odds of being either player 1 or player 2. Still, if player 1 acts rationally, he won't give. Whoever ends up as player 2 will die. Is there a better alternative? Yes. We could make a mutual insurance pact. We could both agree to give in a time of crisis. We could agree to support the other in an emergency, even if it were personally harmful. We would both survive. Here's the problem. No courts enforce these agreements. At the crisis point, giving is always a bad idea. Cheating is always the logical choice. This isn't just a dilemma in the game. It's a key issue in natural selection. A new solution. In the primal world, survival often depended on a special type of reciprocity. This was not the transactional reciprocity of market exchange. This was friendship reciprocity. It was used only among close friends and family. Friendship reciprocity was mutual insurance. In time of need, a friend would help. This happened even if the help could never be fully paid back. This reciprocity was untransactional. Transactional reciprocity was fine. If you were rich and times were good, it might be all you need. But if everything fell apart, only friendship insurance could save you. Professors John Tooby and Lita Cosmides explain, quote, "For hunter-gatherers, illness, injury, bad luck in foraging, or the inability to resist an attack by social antagonists would all have been frequent reversals of fortune with a major selective impact. The ability to attract assistance during such threatening reversals in welfare, where the absence of help might be deadly, may well have had far more significant selective consequences than the ability to cultivate social exchange relationships that promote marginal increases in returns during times when one is healthy, safe, and well-fed." Close quote. Losing the transactional reciprocity game was annoying. Losing the friendship reciprocity game was deadly. The problem with the solution. So, the solution is simple, right? Just have as many friendship insurance relationships as possible. No, that doesn't work. The first problem is cost. Friendship insurance is mutual insurance. Getting unconditional help in a crisis is great, but giving it is costly. The second problem is trustworthiness. Friendship reciprocity with someone who was able and willing to deliver in a crisis was critical to survival. Friendship reciprocity with someone who, at the moment of crisis, couldn't or wouldn't deliver, that was costly and sometimes deadly. Tooby and Cosmides explain, quote, although receiving the benefits of friendship reciprocity was critical, fulfilling the obligations of this mutual insurance was costly. Thus, maintaining successful friendships by projecting oneself and accurately ascertaining a partner as a valuable and true friend rather than a fair-weather friend in advance of a crisis was an important and difficult task central to survival probability. Close quote. Separating powerful, true friends from weak or fair-weather friends meant life or death. But how could you tell the difference in advance of a crisis? And how could you convince others which kind of friend you would be in a crisis? Heroism to the rescue. Heroism solves this problem. Heroism signals trustworthiness for a mutual insurance partner. In a crisis, a hero will save you. A hero is able and willing to deliver transactionally unjustified protection in a time of crisis or need. Heroism must be sacrificial. A sacrificial act signals willingness to protect in a crisis. It signals willingness without transactional justification. If the act is not risky or costly, it doesn't do this. If it's self-interested or transactional, it sends the opposite signal. Sacrifice signals willingness to be a reliable friendship insurance partner. Heroism must actually protect. Attempting but failing to protect another might signal willingness, but it doesn't signal ability to protect in a crisis. Only a successful protector displays true friendship insurance reliability. Heroic philanthropy. A hero displays sacrificial protection. A heroic donation is this: a sacrificial gift that protects the donor's people or values in a crisis. It includes the hero's journey steps. A sacrificial gift in a crisis is the challenge. A sacrificial gift in a crisis that protects is a victory. A sacrificial gift in a crisis that protects the donor's people and values links to identity. Heroic philanthropy in a crisis. Heroism signals trustworthiness as a friendship insurance partner. It shows reliability in a crisis. This is easy to demonstrate when there is real peril. But in a safe, modern world, such extreme circumstances are rare. What else can work? In some cases, philanthropy can. It can show the ability and willingness to deliver transactionally unjustified help. In the right circumstances, it can do more. It can show this in an extreme or crisis setting. Heroic philanthropy in experiments. Sacrifice. Suppose a charity could offer one of two ways to donate. One way is safe and easy. The other requires pain and effort. Logically, the first option will work better, right? Not necessarily. In one study, people received money they could anonymously keep or share with the group. Any donated funds were doubled. However, for some people, donating required a painful task. It required keeping both hands submerged in painfully frigid water for 60 seconds. The result? Those in the painful donation situation gave significantly more money. They were more than twice as likely to donate all their money. Mathematically, this makes no sense. Adding pain to a donation should not result in more donations. But by the logic of heroism, this makes perfect sense. The painful contribution scenario created an opportunity for heroic donations. Giving everything matched the heroic opportunity. No surprise then, these 100% donations increased the most. In another experiment, people could also donate to a charity and have their donation matched. For some, donating required attending a charity picnic. This was the easy, enjoyable condition. Others, instead, would have to complete a 5-mile run. This was the painful effort condition. The result? People in the painful effort condition offered to donate 3 times as much as those in the easy, enjoyable condition. Again, requiring painful effort for the donation increased giving. But there was a way to make this effect disappear. When experimenters offered both options at the same time, almost no one chose the painful effort option. The researchers explained, quote, "The presence of an easy alternative for donating, the picnic, stripped away the meaningfulness of the painful effort contribution process, the 5-mile run," close quote. When the painful effort donation was the only way to give, it created the opportunity for a heroic donation. But when the painful effort became unnecessary, it was no longer heroic. It was pointless. It became meaningless. The opportunity for heroism vanished. Heroic philanthropy in experiments. Protection. Heroism must be sacrificial, but it must also protect. It must defend from a threat. This is different than helping those who aren't in peril. This difference shows up in experiments. In one, donors would have their gift matched. For some, donating required attending a picnic. For others, it required a 30-hour fast. When the cause was famine relief, the results were as before. Those assigned to the painful effort condition offered to donate twice as much. However, this effect reversed when the cause changed. Instead of helping those in peril, famine relief, the cause was changed to building a park. Now, donations were lower in the painful effort condition. The heroism effect disappeared. A park is nice, but it isn't protecting anyone from peril. It provides no potential for a great victory. A gift might still be sacrificial, but it isn't heroic. In heroic philanthropy, the type of charitable project matters. Painful effort giving didn't work well for a new park, but it worked great whenever the cause protected others in peril. It worked when the cause was tsunami victims, Hurricane Katrina victims, victims of war and genocide, or starving children. A heroic gift displays both sacrifice and protection. Heroic philanthropy needs both parts. When the donation opportunity provides both parts, required sacrifice plus protector role, donations are higher. When it is missing either part, pointless sacrifice or non-protector role, donations are lower. Real-world fundraising. Adding extreme circumstances to donations that protect others in peril works in the lab. But this isn't just a matter of lab experiments. It shows up in real-world fundraising. The Ice Bucket Challenge raised more than $115 million for the A.L.S. Association. World Vision's 30-hour famine, requiring extended fasting, has raised over $170 million. Charity runs are ubiquitous. But torturing your donors is not the point. unless you're into that. In that case, some fundraising events even require walking barefoot on burning coals or broken glass. The point is that the behavior gives insight into core donor motivations. Heroic donation opportunities can be compelling, but it helps to know why. Knowing why shows the underlying rules. Knowing the rules helps. It helps in small gift lab experiments. It helps in small gift fundraising events. The next chapter looks at how it helps in major transformational gifts.